Mahomes made headlines in recent years for signing America's biggest sports contract ever, worth a staggering $450 million over 10 years. So, as you might imagine, he lives a pretty comfortable life. The NFL hotshot must be living the dream. Well, he does. But not in the way that you might think. His house is actually surprisingly low-key. Not exactly a mansion. Mahomes' 1950s ranch in the suburbs of Kansas City is reportedly worth $2 million. Expensive, sure, yet maybe not the typical home for a famous pro footballer. The place was built in 1953, with Mahomes and partner Brittany Matthews moving in back in February 2019. 3+ years and one pandemic later, they've turned it into a true home. Patrick and Brittany. Mahomes and Matthews met at high school, and their relationship is still going strong. They tied the knot in March 2022, and a sporting connection is just one thing that unites them. Mahomes entered the high-stakes world of the Kansas City Chiefs football team, whereas Matthews used to play pro soccer in Iceland before moving back to the States. Mr. and Mrs. Mahomes today. Today, Brittany works as a personal trainer and entrepreneur, while Mahomes works on his legacy as a footballing sensation. They had a baby girl in 2021 and then a son in 2022. The couple, who are both in their 20s, have money practically coming out of their ears, yet they certainly don't live at large. Touchdown. The impressive but relatively modest ranch was bought the year before Mahomes drove the crowds wild at the 2020 Super Bowl. This game was a particularly special one. The Chiefs hadn't played in a Super Bowl for half a century. But thanks in no small part to the quarterback's leadership, they sent the San Francisco 49ers packing and touched down with the title. Mahomes the Super Bowl champ. Through this staggering achievement, Mahomes became the youngest black or mixed-race quarterback to be named the Super Bowl's Most Valuable Player MVP. He was given his coveted Super Bowl ring in September of that year and proposed to Matthews the same day. So within a couple of years of moving in, their ranch must have seen a lot of celebrating. Square footage. The property, which is near the country club district, is billed as being in the heart of Kansas City. Overall, Mahomes' home covers 1.4 acres, with the house itself occupying 4,343 square feet. If that sounds on the grand side, the news is tempered by the fact the house has an intriguingly small number of bedrooms, 3, and only 2 bathrooms and an ensuite. Kansas City is close to their heart. Was Mahomes cutting corners with half a bathroom? We're kidding, of course. For this star player, being in Missouri is a no-brainer. Setting down roots in Kansas City was huge for us, he told the Bleacher Report website in 2019. He spoke in glowing terms about the locals, adding, "They treat us, just like we've been here our whole entire life." The tour. The spacious property is just a few miles from Gia Field at Arrowhead Stadium, where the star plays his home games. From the outside, the eye-catching home of Mahomes looks nice, but far from palatial with its clapboard facade. What about when you venture inside the ranch? Do we see any wild extravagance, or is it all fairly humble and straightforward? Light my fire. Because of the house's 50s roots, Mahomes lives in what could be described as a retro environment. Attention has been paid to the main living area and its stone fireplace, which has been described as referencing Art Deco styling. Not what you'd expect when entering the home of a 21st century NFL player, perhaps. He has installed some modern details, but they aren't much in evidence here, from renting to owning. There are actually fireplaces around the property, including in the bedroom. Overall, the house is described as open plan, with hardwood floors and windows that stretch from floor to ceiling, allowing in a maximum amount of light. Before this, the couple rented like many other people and reportedly stayed with Brittany's father, so the house was an important step forward for them. The Mahomes kitchen. When either of the couple need a sandwich, or whatever the healthier alternative is, they head to the kitchen. This is a chef's kitchen, by which we mean a professional caterer could rock up and immediately feel at home. Whether the couple employ one to make their meals, we don't know. It seems unlikely, bearing in mind their approach to life. Takeaway. According to some reports, Mahomes doesn't stick to the typical 3 meals a day like most folk. He can actually eat up to 5. That makes sense, as he probably burns off the calories, which he apparently doesn't bother counting. Fast food is most definitely a thing here, though he avoids caffeine and dairy, among other staples. Eggs are also off the menu. The bedroom. In the master bedroom, there's a lot more space than the average place to flop. It's here where you start to appreciate the couple's sizable bank balance. The room covers 1,259 square feet and has a walk-in closet. Here, Patrick keeps his clothes and shoes. Well, maybe not his shoes. You see, he devotes a room to his footwear. Enter the shoe room. Cameras went inside the dedicated space for an up-close look at Mahomes' pride and joy. There isn't a whole lot that seems indulgent about this man, but we can definitely see him showing off his passion here. With special lighting to bring out the best in each pair, it's a fun area of the house, albeit one he appears to take very seriously indeed. Maximum security. Apparently he has 180 pairs, with the potential to pull on a different set of shoes every couple of days. Also, Mahomes follows his nose. We don't mean any smell from the shoes, but his instincts when it comes to security in the shoe room. Cameras are installed so he can keep an eye out for someone wanting to borrow a pair. It's a dog's life. The Mahomes are experiencing the joys of parenting as they welcome younger family members into the home. And they also have close encounters of the canine kind, courtesy of their 2 dogs, a pit bull named Steel and Silver the Cane Corso. It comes as no surprise to hear the pooches are popular enough to warrant their own social media presence. The garden. One place Steel and Silver must love to be is outside. There's plenty of space to run around in. The house has a rose garden, as well as a private pool and landscaping. It's a safe bet that Mahomes works on his throws in the garden. Practice makes perfect. His aim is accurate enough to take out a drone, as a video stunt proved. A family home. And in addition to the lavish, and not so lavish, details, the couple also have a gym, as you might expect. There's also a wine cellar, with room for 500 bottles, a wet bar and a corner office for Brittany. The pair extensively renovated the property to the tune of $400,000. A huge amount, but we're thinking that's probably still minor compared to Mahomes' contemporaries. What's the future? Is this ranch the young family's forever home? It appears not. Mahomes has a dream to build his own house on land he's purchased. This will feature half of a full-sized football field plus basketball court. The quarterback may be known as a wizard of American football, but he also plays basketball and baseball. He has a family connection here. Upbringing. Mahomes' father Pat was a pitcher in Major League Baseball when his son was growing up. He separated from his wife Patrick's mother Andy, who raised the children. Despite this, his parents are reportedly on very good terms. A sporting background yielded excellent results from their son, who credits playing a range of sports with helping him progress to become the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback. The rise of Mahomes. Born in the city of Tyler, Texas, he went on to attend Texas Tech University, where he would hone his considerable sporting skills and draw attention to himself. Baseball was nearly Mahomes' calling, after he was earmarked during the 2014 MLB draft. He played with the Detroit Tigers, whilst also working his magic as a relief pitcher for the Texas Tech team, from MLB to NFL. His skills as a quarterback were noted at Texas Tech, and by 2016 he was devoting himself solely to American football. The NFL draft beckoned the following year, where things really took off. He had a pro day at university, and no fewer than 28 teams showed up from the NFL, making him one of the most wanted prospective players in football at the time, joining the Kansas City Chiefs. The year 2017 saw him join the Kansas City Chiefs, who made things official with a 4-year contract. This was worth $16.42 million, with Mahomes netting a $10 million bonus just for giving his signature. In 2018, he became the team's starting quarterback. He also matched a record set by another iconic player, Tom Brady, no less, by starting the season with 2 consecutive Player of the Week awards. Paid his respects. Mahomes has paid his respects to older figures like Brady. He's always been great and had a great season and found ways to get even better. Mahomes told Sky Sports, "He's done stuff off the field that hasn't impacted him on the field, but still made his legacy even greater." He describes competing against Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a great opportunity. Time to learn. For Mahomes, Brady probably provides an example he would like to emulate. It appears he wants to keep going with pro football for as long as possible. He is almost 2 decades before, fates permitting, he reaches the kind of heights Brady has attained. Time enough to learn, grow and navigate the pitfalls of being such a world-famous figure. Tea times. Bull. He may have focused all his professional energies on American football, but Mahomes still has an interest in other sports. Reportedly a golfer, he enjoys playing in celebrity tournaments, sometimes with his footballing rivals. When it comes to activities such as baseball, on the other hand, he has to show restraint. The Kansas City Chiefs don't want him injuring himself. Women's team. As Mahomes' star has risen, his partner Brittany is also looking at a bright future. As well as being a personal trainer, she helps run the Kansas City current women's soccer team. It's been a relatively short but hard road for the couple, as they've worked their guts out to start a life together and enter the high-profile world of pro football. Power couple. But whether they stay where they are or embark on another property-related journey via an epic house build, the couple have no shortage of money and security to fall back on. Between Mahomes' lucrative sponsorship deals and Brittany's business savvy, they are a notable success story who have kept their feet on the ground on the way to fame and fortune. Giving it back. Oh. Ultimately, their Kansas City ranch is expensive and roomy, yet also modest in celebrity terms. Mahomes doesn't just take up space in the community, he gives back to it through initiatives such as the 15 and the Mahomes Foundation. This organization helps children in need, no doubt reflecting the strong family values in the Mahomes' own household. All this might leave you wanting to learn more about Brittany, though, and she's been using her fame to send an important message. Party time. Matthews shares a lot of details about her life with the world, including the thousands of fans who follow her husband's football career. When she threw her bachelorette party in February 2022, she made sure people knew about it. The Big Bash was posted all over social media, and it looked pretty exciting. Bar Boot Camp. Matthews even used the occasion to promote her business, just as she later used an appearance to promote a message. She's a certified fitness trainer, definitely a good choice of career when your spouse is a professional football player and has her own company, Matthews Lynn Fitness. So for the bachelorette party, she and her guests took part in a Brits butt boot camp. Naughty night. That wasn't all. The group, which included Sydney Russell and Kayla Nicole, also took part in a slightly naughty activity. They played the panty game where guests bring underwear for the bride-to-be. And after that, they watched the rom-com Marry Me. All in all, a great night for all concerned. Stag night. Bait. Oh, and Mahomes had a great time at his bachelor party as well. As per the New York Post, he and his group, which included his Chiefs teammates Orlando Brown, Jerick McKinnon, Travis Kelce and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, went to Las Vegas and had dinner at a luxury steakhouse overlooking the Strip. That was only the beginning of their night, though. Night clubbing. Once they were done with their luxury steaks, the quarterback and his group went to the Rose rooftop and partied in front of its 100,000 square foot LED screen, which displayed a picture of Mahomes and Matthews. After that, they went to the Tao nightclub and partied again, all while getting VIP service. How the other half lives. You can see why people are so obsessed with these two. They're living the high life all right, and they've got the money to keep living it for the rest of their lives. Mahomes signed an NFL contract worth $503 million in July 2020, and while no one knows exactly how much Matthews pulls in every year, it's a lot. Childhood sweethearts. And people are also very interested in their love story. It's a cute one. The pair were actually high school sweethearts, having started dating in the 10th grade of White House High School in Texas. Mahomes was doing sports back then too. He was primarily a baseball pitcher, while Matthews was no prizes for guessing this a cheerleader. Dream career. Matthews graduated high school in 2013 and Mahomes in 2014, and then they began working on their respective careers. Matthews said of her beau to TV's Today show in 2020, he ended up going to Texas Tech, and that's when it really hit me. He might go play professional football. He did. Showing support. Although Matthews was a sportsperson in her own right, she actually played soccer at the University of Texas. She soon became more noted for being Mahomes' support as he rose through the ranks. When the NFL star was named MVP of the 2020 Super Bowl, his girlfriend was right there cheering along. Rings. Less than a year after that exciting Super Bowl win, Mahomes proposed. He popped the question in a private room at the Arrowhead Stadium on the very same day the Chiefs received their Super Bowl rings. And Matthews, of course, said yes. But she couldn't have known what was to come for her, and him and her. Matthews wrote a touching post on Instagram after she, too, received her ring. She said, "On a day that was meant to celebrate you, you turned it into celebrating us. It's always us. It's always you and me. The words you looked into my eyes and said to me at this moment will never leave my mind. Perfect day." She went on, "You made this day perfect. You took my entire breath away, and I could not have imagined anything better. I love you, forever and always. Cheers to spending our lifetime together and an inseparable bond." And so far, they have indeed been inseparable, despite obstacles. Sterling Sky. Pie. And the couple have a child together as well. Sterling Sky Mahomes was born 2 weeks after her dad competed in the Super Bowl LV, and her proud parents often post pictures of her on Instagram. Perhaps her daughter was one of the things on her mind when Matthews revealed her important message. Introducing Jackson. Things haven't been easy for the Mahomes family recently. For a start, Mahomes' younger brother Jackson keeps getting in the news for bad behavior. For example, in 2021, a Kansas City restaurant posted a public calling out regarding an incident that took place on their premises, and it had some pretty pointed things to say. Status. Representatives of the small business wrote online for everyone to see, "We are sorry that we set boundaries that you tried to ignore. Oftentimes people with unearned status and a sense of entitlement think they are above the rules and will lash out at the employee enforcing them." Ouch. Ouch. A water incident. Then in September 2021, Jackson was filmed dunking water over some Ravens fans who were making fun of him. Afterwards he quipped on Twitter, in response to the video, "They were thirsty, many people weren't impressed." But then right on the heels of that, he was embroiled in another controversy. TikTok troubles. In October of that year, Jackson was spotted dancing and filming a TikTok on Sean Taylor's number at the FedEx field. This horrified people, as Taylor had been shot and killed at the age of just 24, and his number was being retired. Jackson apologized, saying on Twitter, "We were directed to stand in the area, and I meant absolutely no disrespect to him or his family." Team Brittany. But where's the line between criticism and bullying? This is what Matthews had to confront in 2022. And it's the reason she turned to the Charlie Hustle Company to create a new line of T-shirts which she debuted on Instagram, yellow creations with the words Team Brittany on the front in scarlet. Champagne incident. Like her brother-in-law, Matthews had faced controversy in recent months. Ironically, her incident also involved covering people with liquid, just as with Jackson and those Ravens fans. While celebrating the Chiefs winning against the Bulls in January, she had sprayed champagne over the crowd beneath her. Very important person. It had been a sincere celebration, but many people weren't pleased, especially since Matthews was sitting in her VIP box when she did it. One person wrote on social media, "If she gone sick be throwing champagne on the common folk, she need to be sitting with the common folk." Just saying. Being attacked. But it soon seemed like things were getting out of hand. A day later Matthews tweeted, "I just wish I could do what I want without getting attacked every week." Then she retweeted someone else's post which read, "People complaining about Matthews spraying champagne into the stands have clearly never won anything before." A very strong word. Many celebrities have to deal with negativity on social media, and sometimes that negativity can get very intense. Matthews posted on January 25th, "Hate is a very strong word to just be thrown at someone you don't even know," which indicated that the rude messages were starting to get to her. Sideline antics. This isn't the only thing Matthews has been dealing with, though. In February 2022, former football player Rick Owenberger tweeted out a supposed news story about Mahomes banning his then fiancée and his brother from games. Apparently they had become a distraction, and their sideline antics are bad for his brand. One word. Naturally, Mahomes was not happy about these allegations against his family, and he replied to the original post, "Why all just be making stuff up these days?" Matthews, of course, agreed with him, quote, tweeting her man and writing one simple word, "legit." Orenberger had to delete the tweets and apologize. Incredible. Shortly afterwards, Orenberger spoke to the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon about the incident. He said he truly believed he had been handed a piece of information that you believe with all your heart is true, sounds true, is from a credible source. But it hadn't been that at all. Misleading. Bad. Orenberger said he'd been deliberately misled about the Mahomes family. According to him, "This was an interesting situation because I thought I was having a text message conversation with someone who I trust deeply, with someone who I respect in this business deeply, someone who I've reached out to for advice from in the past, interview requests from in the past, and the context was accurate. Rumors. Why?" It seemed there was more to this story. The Twitter account ProFootball Talk reported, "Someone has been pushing a false narrative that Patrick Mahomes has banned his brother and fiancée from Chiefs games." Another reporter, Matt Verderame, claimed that 4 people had received rumor-spreading texts about the Mahomes family, unknown sender. Who had been sending them? We simply don't know. Matt Verderame mentioned on his Twitter account that he had no idea how the sender of the text got his number. But as you can imagine, it's been tough to be on the receiving end of this apparent campaign, so Matthews is now fighting back, creating something good. When Matthews showed off her new endeavor on Instagram, she also explained the thinking behind them. The Charlie Hustle company had approached her, she said, not the other way round, and she decided to turn the opportunity into something good. She was hoping to raise money for an anti-bullying charity. Toxic problem. The chosen charity was Red Card KC, based in Kansas City, where Matthews herself also lives. Its website's about page reads, "Bullying isn't something that happens somewhere else to someone else. It's happening right here in Kansas City, and it's one of the most toxic social issues of our time. Helping others." Matthews says on her Instagram stories, "Obviously, I do receive a lot of hate on a daily basis on social media, and I know so many other people do as well. I'm lucky